You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's JPA here. Now in today's video I'm going to be discussing the Rangers friendly versus Oxford United that was played at Ibrox yesterday afternoon. We'll just get straight into this video, guys. So the match finished Rangers 5, Oxford United 0. This was obviously Rangers technically their third friendly. They've had two closed door matches, which they won fairly comfortable. They beat Mansfield 2-0 and they also beat TNS, the Welsh side, 1-0 in a closed door match at the Hummel Training Centre. And this was obviously our first official friendly in front of the cameras and stuff like that, and in front of obviously a crowd at Ibrox. Now despite the scoreline, it was actually fairly even up until about maybe our first goal, I would say. First 15-20 minutes Oxford United actually played really well. They created a couple of chances for themselves as well, but obviously the first goal did come from Rangers. And the goal actually came from our own corner. We managed to clear it. It came to Jake Hasty on the halfway line. He actually played it out to Greg Stewart, who was actually Hasty was actually fouled in the build-up. Referee waved play on. Stewart had a really good first-time pass through to Candeas, who was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Really good, good timing of the run off the ball to be one-on-one with the keeper, and he slotted it away with his left foot. A really good finish from Candeas to make it 1-0 to Rangers. So after that goal went in, we kind of settled into it a little bit more. A few of our new faces started to play really well. Aribo had a good game. He was good on the ball. Greg Stewart was just a constant menace to the Oxford defence. He looks like a really good player. He kind of reminds me of Arfield, the way he kind of runs off into the box. I actually think Stewart will be a really good player this season. I think he'll be kind of a surprise to a lot of people. A lot of people have kind of written him off before he's even kicked the ball for us. And as I'll talk about his goal in a minute, it was a real good finish from him. But obviously he got the assist for Candeas' goal. And his goal came for himself 32 minutes into the game. Candeas found Stewart on the edge of the box, and he made this goal himself. I don't even know if you can count it as an assist for Candeas. Stewart got on the edge of the box, darted to the byline. There was a couple options on the box for him, but he decided to cut back on his left foot, and he fired it across the goalkeeper into the other side of the net. It was a really good finish. I don't think the keeper was even expecting it. It actually hit the net before he even moved for it. Real good finish. Very surprising from that angle to finish through there. Bit delighted to go 2-0 up after only 32 minutes. And apart from the two goals, there wasn't a lot happened. Obviously the substitutes kind of interrupt things a little bit and disrupt play to a certain degree. Notable things that happened was Jake Hasty had a chance where he kind of dragged it just wide of the post. Andy Halliday had a good 1-2 exchange in the box with Candeas, and his shot was well saved. The most notable thing was Niko Katic's strike for about 30-40 yards out. It very much reminded me of Amoruso, the way he used to maraud forward and just take a pop-at goal. He's hit it for about, as I say, maybe 30 or 40 yards, and it's actually a real good save. When you slow it down, you realise the keeper's actually got a glove to it. Tipped onto the bar, but it was such a strike that it would have been contender for goal of the season if friendly goals counted, I suppose you could say. But it was a really, really good strike. And it shows you just the kind of confidence that Katic has got through playing in the team on a more consistent basis. So into the second half, we played pretty well. Again, there was a good few changes happening. Lewis Mayo, the young centre half, came on and he played really, really well. I'll talk about his goal in a minute. But his overall defending was pretty good. There was a couple of cleared headers that he made. He looks like a really bright player. It's good to have him on the kind of fringes of the team. I remember him from last year as well. He was involved in some of the friendlies. So he looks like he's got a good future ahead of him. Hopefully He can try and break into the team. I doubt he will break into the team this season. He'd probably have to maybe go on loan first and come back. But he played well. Good to see him. There was a number of young players on the team. Josh McPake came on. I'll talk about him in a minute because I had a really good piece of skill that I was going to talk about. But Mayo actually scored the third goal. The cross came in for Andy Halliday and it was headed back out. And when it came back in from Halliday, Lewis Mayo's got a really good header. Saved really well for the keeper, but unfortunately it came back and it looked as though the defender tried to clear it and it actually hit off Mayo and ended up in the back of the net. So delighted for him to get his goal. As I say, he played well. He wasn't the only youngster to play well. Jamie Barjonas came on, played well. As I say, Josh McPake played well when he came on. Unfortunately, he had to go off injured no long after that little bit of skill that I was going to talk about. But it was exciting to see some of the youngsters come through. Disappointing not to see Atakai. I don't know what level he's at in terms of injury or whether he's out on international duty. I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% about that, but I remember seeing him in a couple of friendlies last year and he played really well, particularly that one. We played a college team in America under Graham Murray and he played really, really well in one of the games in that. So it's 3-0. We continued to play well, continued to use the ball really, really well going forward. We looked after it well. We didn't really give the ball away a lot, particularly second half. We controlled the game, especially when I went taking 3-0. We were so dominant on the ball, and it looked like everybody was enjoying themselves. Everybody wanted the ball. Ojo came on. He did well. There was a bit in the middle of the park where he beat 2 men to the ball. It was just incredible. Made a good run, passed it to Jones. Jones passed it back in. It was in the end, a weak shot from OJ, but it was on target. So it was good to see a lot of the new players linking up as well. I thought they played really well. 70th minute, we got our next goal. And this was a good play down the right from Tavernier, who came on at half time. I think we looked a little bit more direct with him playing. Played a through ball for Ojo and it looked like the defender was going to get there first. Ojo kind of shrugged him off. I think the guy actually went down, tried to claim a foul or something. It was just real good play for Ojo. He cut in onto his left hand side and it was a really good finish on the inside of the post. So again, we're in total control of the match and I'm thinking, right, 4-0. I've got my prediction right. It's going to look good for the first video of the season. To kick off a real good prediction, but it just didn't go that way. Before I talk about the goal, actually, I'll talk about Josh McPake's little turn in the edge of the byline. He was on the byline, defender was there, and I really had to describe. He basically hooked his foot round the ball and flicked it over the defender's knee and ran around the other side to get the ball. Unfortunately, the cross was blocked. But it would have been a really, really good assist. I was unlucky not to get anything from it, but it was just sublime skill for the wee lad. It was good to see. I've heard a lot about McPake and the youngsters. Obviously got Young Player of the Year last year for the development squad, and he's a good player. It was good to see him. So as I say, I thought I was heading for a really good prediction video, but Jermaine Defoe put ends to that. It was a really good move. Tavernier was involved again, and when Tav received the ball inside of the box, it was a one-touch pass right to Defoe, and Defoe, he couldn't have missed for there. I mean, I didn't think Lafferty would have missed for there, to be honest, but Jermaine Defoe, clinical striker, got that goal, and it was good to see that he dedicated that goal to young Bradley. And I feel it's really good to see that Jermaine Defoe wasn't just doing it for the cameras and the attention while this young lad was alive. He's actually remembered them. They became really close during his illness, and it was good to see that Defoe still, he's a true gentleman. It was a nice touch to dedicate the goal to wee Bradley. RIP young man. So that's it, the first official friendly ended 5-0 Rangers. Really good win, as I said. Really good performance. There was some really strong performances, particularly I would say Greg Stewart in the first half. Hasty played well, a lot of the youngsters played well, and a lot of the debutants played well. I've talked a bit about the youngsters and how well they played, so what I'm going to do is I'll rate the debutants 10, and don't know if you guys agree. Put it down in the comments what you think of who played well. For me, Ojo was a standout. Stewart was definitely a standout. So I'll go first one, Edmondson. I gave him a 6. He didn't do a lot wrong, but again, he wasn't really fully tested by Oxford. Oxford played well. They were very organised, but they didn't offer that much going forward, if I'm honest. So I'll give Edmondson a 6 out of 10. Jake Hasty, I've given a 7 out of 10. I thought he was very lively in the first half when he was on. He was unlucky with that goal. He just dragged it wide. Put a couple of decent crosses in, got to the byline a couple of times, beat his man. He looks like he's going to be an exciting player. He's one of the ones I've heard there's rumours that he might go on loan. I actually hope he stays and kind of fights for his place because he's a really good player. Jordan Jones, again, I give him a 7 out of 10. I thought he played really well. Again, he was lively, he was willing to take his man on. So he linked up for that chance for Ojo. Probably could have taken a shot himself, if I'm honest. And yeah, he looks like another player who I'm glad to see in the team. It's another good signing for Gerrard, and I really hope he has a good season under Gerrard as well. Next one, Shea Ojo. I thought he played well, not just his goal. As I say, that wee run from the middle of the park where he took out 2 players, driving forward. He looks like a good prospect. There's been suggestions that he's better than Kent. I don't know, I've not seen enough of him, but he looks good, and if it comes down to it and we didn't get Kent, it's really good that we've got Ojo there. I think he'll be a very important player for us this season. Took his finish really well, and his overall play was very good. Next one was Joe Aribo. I thought he played well. His use of the ball was good. He didn't give it away a lot. He was driving forward. There was one chance he had where he kind of toe poked it a little bit. Thought that was a poor effort after some initial good play, but you got to remember these guys aren't as much sharp. They're going to be lacking that little bit of sharpness, that little bit of fitness. It's only the first friendly. A lot more will come from him, I'm sure. He reminds me very much of Kamara, the way he plays with the ball, but he's probably more attacking than Glenn Kamara is, which is a good sign. So I was very happy with him. Gave him an 8 out of 10. And the last of the debutants, of the new signings, was Stewart. Greg Stewart. Thought he played excellent. Took his goal really, really well. Great finish. His overall play was good. He got on the end of a couple of other half chances that he probably could have scored from. Got an assist with the first goal as well. He can be very pleased with the way he played in that first half. I've given him a 9 out of 10. Now obviously he didn't play the full game, he only played like half the game, but that's the 9 out of 10 is for what he was actually involved in, not for the full game. It'd be stupid to give a 9 out of 10 for someone who played only 45 minutes, if you get my drift. But yeah, delighted with every single one of the players that made their debuts. I'm delighted with the young players who came on and did well, particularly Lewis Mayo, who got his goal, played well, and delighted for every single player who played magnificent. Shout out to the 2 goalkeepers who both kept a clean sheet. Jack Anick in the first half and Wes Fordingham in the second, so well done to them. Just going to wrap this video up, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like in the bottom. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks to the new subscribers who have joined the channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks to those people who viewed my last video. I got quite a number of views on my last video. I don't know whether that's because people have commented and watched it after the game was finished. I'm not really sure about that, but thanks anyway. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.